For the solar eclipse in October 2023, we wanted to observe the beautiful ring of fire, and we prepared a pin in a paper plate, directing the light through the pin in another plate to see the solar eclipse. Then I thought I was going to take a video of how the light was going to be darkened in our backyard. And I just aimed my camera. The plan was to be just recording every few minutes how the light was going to be getting dark. And what I realized, to my surprise, was that the shadows on the ground were weird. Instead of seeing the regular shadows of the trees or the light filtering through the trees, I saw these little curvy things, and at first I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was weird, and I was expecting the light to go dark. It wasn't happening, and yet the shadows or light spots on the ground started to change shapes. Every 10 or so minutes that I turn on the camera, you can see how I had 1,000 eclipses happening on the ground. This, if you see the shapes, is many rings of fire. It's a complete O on the light transpiring to the ground. Look at this. This is so beautiful. I was not expecting this, and I just couldn't get enough. Perfect zero, perfect O. The ring of fire happening like a kaleidoscope of sorts. And the wind was moving the leaves on the trees. And this effect is completely unexpected and gorgeous. It was so much fun. I totally forgot about the pin and the plate and the paper. However, one thing I have to say is that I never saw the light completely darkened. See, this is on the paper. It was a perfect little ring. And this was about 10 or so minutes later. You can see that the moon is moving from the sunlight. The shapes of the light are different. They change from being in one direction to the center, and now on the other direction. Now they look like little letter C, when before they were looking like a little horseshoe of sorts. It was so clear and crisp. And I think the effect is even better with the wind moving the trees. There was a breeze coming and going, and sometimes you could see the static shape of the light, and sometimes it was just moving a lot. I think this was the darkest it ever got in our little corner of Central Texas. The light was kind of grayish, but it never went completely dark as I was expecting. And at this time, you can see more of the tree leaves and the shape of the tree branches, not only the sea light. And this is more or less about an hour later from the start. You can see the trees. You can see the shapes, but are more blurry. It still looks beautiful. We spent a very nice day. The weather was special, was really, really nice. And I was just hoping to get to the last drop of the lights reflecting on the concrete on the patio. The eclipse this time around was such an unexpected surprise. It was like a work of art. At this point, it was very blurry. More leaves than eclipse shapes. Everything was coming back to normal. The light was still a little gray, but coming back to the regular light of day at that time. And I also made a recording of one of the walls, so I'm going to show it in a different video if you care to watch it. See the tree dancing in the wind. Every clip is about 10 to 15 minutes later or so. And we seem to be saying goodbye to the eclipse, although you can still see the shape of the moon on the sun, but mostly the tree shapes at this point. And thank you, nature, for giving us this beautiful present of art on the ground, of seeing the reflection of the eclipse on the ground. And instead of only having one eclipse, we had many, many, many eclipse shapes on the ground. Unique occasion that went through the center of the continent. And the next time that the Ring of Fire type of eclipse that will happen will be in 2039. So I'm glad I was able to record it. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up